Here is something that might genuinely surprise you. The way most women approach metabolism is completely backwards, and the science actually explains why so many well-intentioned efforts to boost energy and burn fat end up going nowhere. Today, we are going to fix that. We are going to walk through the actual biology, the stuff researchers have been studying for years, and by the end of this video, you are going to have a clear, practical understanding of how the female metabolism works and exactly what you can do to work with it instead of against it. But before we get into the good stuff, I want to ask you something. Have you ever done everything right? Eating well, moving your body, getting enough sleep, and still felt like your metabolism was just not cooperating? Like your body was working against you on purpose? That feeling is not in your head. There is real science behind why women experience metabolism differently than men. And once you understand it, everything starts to make so much more sense. All right, let's start with the foundation. Metabolism is not just about how fast you burn calories. That is the version we see in magazine headlines, and it misses almost everything important. Your metabolism is the sum total of every chemical reaction happening in your body right now. It is how you produce energy, repair tissue, regulate hormones, and keep your brain running. It is enormous and complex and deeply personal. And for women specifically, it is woven tightly into the hormonal system in ways that create unique challenges and unique opportunities. The baseline rate at which your body burns energy just to keep you alive is called your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This accounts for the majority of the calories you burn every single day, typically somewhere between 60 and 70%. Exercise, despite what the fitness industry loves to emphasize, actually contributes a relatively smaller portion. This matters because it means the biggest levers for improving your metabolism are not necessarily in the gym. They are in how you eat, how you sleep, how you manage stress, and how you support your hormonal health. Now here is where it gets specifically interesting for women. Estrogen and progesterone, the primary female sex hormones, have direct effects on metabolic function. Estrogen in particular plays a significant role in how your body processes fat and distributes it. During the reproductive years, estrogen tends to support a healthier metabolic rate and helps with insulin sensitivity, meaning your body can process carbohydrates more efficiently. When estrogen levels decline, as they do during perimenopause and menopause, metabolic rate can drop and fat storage patterns often shift. This is not a character flaw or a failure of willpower. It is a biological transition that the science very clearly describes. There is also the matter of muscle mass, and this is one of the most important conversations we can have about female metabolism. Muscle tissue is metabolically expensive. Your body burns more calories maintaining muscle than it does maintaining fat, even when you are completely at rest. Women naturally tend to have less muscle mass than men on average, and muscle mass also tends to decline with age if it is not actively maintained. This is called sarcopenia, and it is one of the biggest drivers of the metabolic slowdown that many women experience as they get older. The good news here is genuinely exciting. Research consistently shows that resistance training, the kind where you are challenging your muscles with weights or body weight exercises, is one of the most effective tools for preserving and even building muscle mass. And building that muscle has a compounding effect on your resting metabolic rate over time. We are not talking about transforming into a competitive bodybuilder. We are talking about regular, progressively challenging strength work 2 to 4 times per week. That alone can meaningfully shift the metabolic baseline. Let's talk about protein, because the science here is really clear, and it is something a lot of women are underapplying. Protein has what is called a high thermic effect, meaning your body actually burns a significant number of calories just in the process of digesting and processing it. Compared to fats and carbohydrates, protein requires considerably more energy to metabolize. On top of that, adequate protein intake is essential for maintaining and building the muscle tissue we just talked about. Research suggests that many women are consuming less protein than they need, particularly as they age. A general guideline that appears consistently in the research is aiming for protein at each meal, with amounts that support your activity level and body composition goals. Working with a registered dietitian can help you find your specific sweet spot. Now, I want to address something that I think creates a huge amount of unnecessary struggle for women trying to improve their metabolism: chronic undereating. There is a widespread belief, reinforced by decades of diet culture, that eating less is always better when it comes to metabolism. The biology does not support this. When you consistently eat significantly below your energy needs, your body responds by down-regulating your metabolic rate. This is an adaptive response. Your body is trying to protect you from what it perceives as a famine situation. The result is often a slower metabolism, reduced energy, hormonal disruption, and a frustrating cycle where less and less food seems to produce results. This is sometimes called metabolic adaptation, and it is a very well-documented phenomenon in the research. Eating enough, specifically enough protein, enough micronutrient-dense foods, and enough overall calories to support your activity and body composition goals is not optional if you want a well-functioning metabolism. It is actually fundamental to the whole project. Sleep deserves its own serious conversation here because the research is genuinely striking. Sleep is when your body does enormous amounts of metabolic repair work. Growth hormone, which plays a significant role in fat metabolism and tissue repair, is primarily released during deep sleep. Insulin sensitivity, your body's ability to process glucose efficiently, is directly affected by sleep quality and duration. Studies have shown that even a few nights of poor sleep can meaningfully impair glucose metabolism and increase appetite for high-calorie foods. Women going through hormonal transitions like perimenopause often experience sleep disruption, which can create a compounding effect on metabolic health. Prioritizing sleep hygiene is not a soft wellness suggestion. It is a hard metabolic strategy. Let's bring stress into the picture because this is where a lot of the dots connect in ways that finally make sense of some frustrating patterns. When you experience stress, your body releases cortisol. This is a perfectly normal and necessary hormone in acute situations. The problem is chronic, ongoing stress, which many women are navigating every single day. Sustained elevated cortisol has several direct metabolic effects. It can increase blood sugar, promote fat storage, especially around the abdominal area, interfere with sleep, and disrupt the hormonal balance that supports healthy metabolism. Practices that genuinely reduce stress load, whether that is mindfulness, time in nature, social connection, creative outlets, or simply better boundaries around work and obligations, are therefore genuinely metabolic interventions. Your nervous system and your metabolism are not separate systems. They are deeply connected. There is also the role of non-exercise activity, sometimes called NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is all the movement you do throughout the day that is not formal exercise. Walking to get coffee, taking the stairs, fidgeting, standing at your desk, doing household tasks. Research has shown that NEAT can vary enormously between individuals and can account for significant differences in total daily calorie burn. People who are naturally more fidgety and active throughout their day burn meaningfully more calories than those who are more sedentary, independent of their formal exercise routines. Small, consistent increases in daily movement, things like taking walking meetings, parking further away, or breaking up long periods of sitting, can add up to a real metabolic difference over time. One more piece of the science that I think women specifically should know about involves thyroid function. The thyroid gland is the primary regulator of your metabolic rate, and thyroid disorders are significantly more common in women than in men. An underactive thyroid, known as hypothyroidism, can cause fatigue, weight gain, difficulty losing weight, and a sluggish feeling that mirrors what many women attribute to just getting older or not trying hard enough. If you have implemented many of the lifestyle strategies we discussed and still feel like your metabolism is fighting you, it is genuinely worth having a conversation with your doctor about thyroid function. A simple blood test can provide meaningful information. So let us bring this all together into a clear picture. Supporting your metabolism as a woman means understanding and working with your hormonal biology rather than ignoring it. It means building and maintaining muscle through regular resistance training. It means eating enough protein and enough total food to fuel your body properly. It means making sleep a genuine priority. It means managing chronic stress not as a luxury, but as a metabolic necessity. It means staying consistently active throughout your day beyond just your workouts. And it means paying attention to signals that might indicate underlying issues worth addressing with a healthcare provider. None of this is about perfection. None of this requires an extreme approach. The science actually points quite consistently towards sustainable, balanced habits rather than dramatic interventions. Your metabolism is not your enemy. It is an incredibly sophisticated system that responds to how you take care of yourself. And when you understand the levers, you can actually work with it in a way that feels supportive rather than like a constant uphill battle. If this video helped you see things differently, share it with someone who might need this information. And let me know in the comments which of these pieces was most helpful or most surprising for you.